Now magnetism lesson 17. In this video I will be discussing 5 important questions, short questions, and 3 numericals. But before I discuss that, I suggest you must go through this magnetism 15 and magnetism 16, where I had explained all these diagrams. This was your earth. This axis, about this axis, it was rotating from west to east. This green one, this green circle plane is your geographic equator. This was your magnetic equator. And when the earth was behaving as a magnet, one second, when the earth was behaving as a magnet, these were the magnetic field lines. And if you suspend a bar magnet or a magnetic needle freely by a thread, it will be suspended vertically down. And if you are here, the needle will be the axis of the needle. When I say axis of the needle, means this axis, not the axis of rotation. If you suspend a magnetic needle from this point vertically down, the needle at all points on the magnetic equator will remain horizontal to the Earth's surface. Means at all points on the magnetic equator, when you draw tangents to the lines of force, those tangents which gives the direction of the magnetic field will be parallel to the Earth's surface. Means it is horizontal. Means at all points on the magnetic equator, the horizontal component of the Earth's magnetic field has some value. BH is not 0, means has some value. Since it is horizontal, so when something is horizontal, it doesn't have a vertical component. So at all points on the magnetic equator, the vertical component was 0. And what else I had explained? At here, not the geographic north, the magnetic north pole and the magnetic south pole. At this point and this point, if you suspend a magnetic needle by a thread freely, means the needle is capable of rotating in a vertical plane. Here the needle to the surface of the earth will be totally vertical. The north pole of this needle will point to this side, because when the earth is behaving as a magnet, its south pole is here and its north pole is here, right? Now, similarly here, if you suspend a magnetic needle freely from thread, here the south pole will point towards this. Means at this point and at this point, the needle is totally vertical, means the magnetic field is totally vertical here and here. Means at these 2 points, the vertical component is not 0, it has some value. Since it is vertical, therefore it has no horizontal component, that is horizontal component is 0. So that is what I had explained you. Now let us go back and discuss those 5 questions and 3 numericals. Let us begin with the first one. Very simple. At how many places and where on the surface of the earth the dip angle is 90 degree? I just explained. Well, the dip I have explained in the previous lesson. And what is that? If a magnetic needle or a bar magnet is suspended freely, then on the surface of the earth, depending on where you are, whether you are on the magnetic equator, or whether you are here or somewhere else, the north pole of the needle will dip down, or the south pole of the needle will dip down from the horizontal position. That angle was called your dip angle. And here from the horizontal position, this needle has dipped by 90 degree. Similarly here from the horizontal position, here the south pole of the needle has dipped by 90 degrees. So what are two places? So what are two places? Where? At magnetic north and magnetic south pole. Magnetic north and magnetic south, not geographic. That is magnetic north and magnetic south. The dip is 90 degree. Then coming back to the second question, at what places on the surface of the earth dip is equal to 0? Means the magnetic needle remains horizontal to the earth's surface. Means neither the north pole tilts down nor the south pole tilts down. So what are those points? So it remains horizontal. Means the vertical component is 0. That is at all points on the magnetic equator. BV is equal to 0. So there are how many points? So there are many points, all the points on the magnetic equator. So at all points on the magnetic equator, the magnetic needle, the freely suspended magnetic needle capable of rotating in a vertical plane, does not dip, does not tilt or bend from its horizontal position. Neither the north pole bends down nor the south pole bends down. It remains horizontal. Therefore, the total magnetic field is horizontal at all points on the magnetic field. Since it is horizontal, if something is horizontal, if some vector is horizontal, its vertical component is 0. If some vector is vertical, its horizontal component is 0. If only a vector is making some angle, then it will have a vertical component and horizontal component. So, at all points on the magnetic equator, it is horizontal, therefore the vertical component is 0. Then coming back to the third one, at how many places and where on the surface of the earth the horizontal component of earth's magnetic field B is 0? If the horizontal is 0, therefore it is totally vertical. If the horizontal is 0, then therefore it is totally vertical. Therefore, what is the answer? At both magnetic poles. At both magnetic poles. And we can derive this in a different way also. I just explained at magnetic poles, magnetic north and south, delta was 0. And we have derived this relation. Tangent of the angle of dip was vertical component of the magnetic field divided by horizontal component of the magnetic field. Now, at magnetic north and magnetic south, delta is 90. So put 90 here. Tan 90 is BB by BH and tan 90 is infinite. Then how this ratio will be infinite? If the denominator is 0. Therefore, BH, the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field at the two magnetic poles, magnetic north pole, magnetic south pole is 0. That is same thing as saying the compass axis, the compass needle axis remains on the magnetic meridian and also remains perpendicular to the Earth's surface. Now then let us go to the fourth question quickly. Also is a theory question. At how many places and where on the surface of the earth the vertical component of the earth's magnetic field is 0? Where vertical component of the Earth's magnetic field is 0. Now look, if a vector is like this and this angle is theta, then this will be your BH, that is equal to B cos theta, and this will be your B vertical, and how much will be this? B sin theta. Now it is given BV is equal to 0. When this will be 0? When this will be 0? When this is 0, that is when theta is equal to 0. Now instead of theta I should write delta here. Delta, because delta was your angle of dip. So So now come back. At all places on the magnetic equator where the needle was remaining totally horizontal, and when a tangent one was drawn to the lines of force at all points on the magnetic equator, when a tangent was drawn, tangent drawn here, drawn here, drawn here, look at the tangent. The tangent at any line of force gives the direction of the magnetic at that place. Since the tangent is parallel to the surface here, therefore, it has no vertical component. It is totally horizontal. So if something is totally horizontal, its vertical component is 0. So using the relation tan delta is vertical component over horizontal component, delta is 0, where? At all points on the magnetic equator, because the needle remains horizontal. Means the needle does not tilt, neither the north pole tilts down nor the south pole tilts down at all points on the magnetic equator. Now tan 0 is 0. Now this fraction is 0. Then how this fraction will be 0? If the numerator is 0. So at all places on the magnetic equator, the vertical component of the Earth's magnetic field is 0. That is same thing as saying it is totally horizontal. The total magnetic field at all points on the magnetic equator is totally horizontal. That is, a compass needle axis remains on the magnetic meridian and parallel to the Earth's surface. Now then come back to 5. Now it's a small numerical. Now look, this one. This one is your magnetic meridian, and this is the point P. Now, this is your magnetic needle. When suspended freely in the magnetic meridian, it remains the axis of the needle. The axis of the needle remains in this plane. The plane called the magnetic meridian means a vertical plane which contains the magnetic north and the magnetic south and the place. And look by what angle it has dipped from this horizontal line, which is also in the magnetic meridian, by this angle. And by definition, dip was the angle that the horizontal line on the magnetic meridian makes with the net magnetic field, means the axis of the magnetic needle, that is delta. So if this is delta and this is the direction, because the north pole is pointing to this side, therefore this is the horizontal component of B. This is the vertical component of net field B. Now look at the question. The angle of dip at two places, at one place it is 30 degree, at one place is 45 degree. I have only shown one place. At one place this delta is 30 and at another place this delta is 45. That is what the question says. What is the ratio of the horizontal component? Means the horizontal find out the horizontal component here where delta is 30, find out the horizontal component here where delta is 45, and what is the ratio of that? That if the vertical component at the two places are same, the place are at which the dip is 30 degree, delta is 30 degree, let it be delta 1. We'll have a horizontal component, we'll have a vertical component. The place at which delta is 45 will also have a horizontal component and the vertical component. We have to find out the ratio of those two horizontal components, given the vertical components have the same value. So we know from here, this horizontal component will be B from this triangle, taking cos theta and cross multiplying, taking cos delta will be this side by hypotenuse and cross multiplying, your BH is B cos delta, BV is equal to B sin delta, right? Now, so dividing these two, we get BV cancels, cos delta over sin delta, that is called delta, that is 1 over tan delta. Now let us cross multiply these two. We get BH is equal to vertical component over tan delta. Now let let BH1 is the horizontal component where delta is equal to 30 degree, and this is the horizontal component where delta is equal to 45 degree. Now, so this is the general expression for BH, BV over tan delta. So BH1 will be BV over tan delta 1, BH2 will be BV, vertical component over tan delta 2. Why I am using BV same in both the cases at both the places? Because it is given the vertical components at the two places are same. So BV cancels, so I am left with a tan delta 2 over tan delta 1 delta 2. That is the second place, 45 degree, tan 45 over tan 30, that comes out to be root 3. It is also important. It is a small question, but numerical, but it is also important. Then come back to sixth one. This is very, very important. This is from dipole-dipole interaction. Find the force between two identical bar magnets whose centers are r meters apart. Centers. One magnet is like this, north-south. Another is like this, south-north. Between the centers, the distance is given as r, and the force between them is given as 4.8 Newton. Now, when their axes are in the same line, look, the axis of this magnet and the axis of this magnet, they are in the same line, and the distance is r and the force is 4.8 Newton. If the separation is increased to 2 r meters, the force between them is reduced to how much? So, look, this will apply a force on this. 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 There are total 4 different forces. And if you look at my video in lesson magnetism 13 called dipole-dipole interaction, I had derived this force in a different way. And it was, the force was equal to minus du by dr. How the potential energy was changing with respect to distance, that was force, and I had derived this. Means magnetic moment of first one, magnetic moment of second one divided by r to the power 4. We have to, very, very important. So here r becomes 2r. Only the distance has changed. Both the magnets remain same. Means M1, M2 remain same. Only the distance changes. So from this expression, if let the first force will be proportional to 1 by r to the power 4, and the first force is given as 4.8 Newton. When the distance becomes 2r, I am using the same expression. Instead of r, I will write 2r. Now the second force F2 will be proportional to 1 by 2r to the power 4, that is 1 by 16r to the power 4. And this is your F2. This is to be calculated. This is to be calculated. Now divide the both expressions. So F1 over F2 will be 1 by r to the power 4 divided by 1 by 16r to the power 4. The proportionality constants will cancel. So this becomes 1 by r to the power 4. 16r to the power 4 comes to the numerator. 1 cancels. R to the power 4 cancels. We are left with 16. We are required to find out F2. Then cross multiply this with this. Your F2 becomes F1 over 16. F1 was given as 4.8 Newton when the distance was r, divided by 16 comes out to be 0.3 Newton. Very, very important. Very, very important. Called dipole-dipole interaction. You refer to my video in lesson 13 where I have derived this expression. You have only to remember the proportionality factor. Now there is another very important, very, very important. In fact, now I will explain the theory part of it, then I will go to the numerical. Right. Now look at this, small a, small b, small c, small d. This is your magnetic meridian. And your ABCD is your magnetic meridian. Small a, small b, small c, small d. This plane at point A is the magnetic meridian. And we know when a magnetic needle is suspended freely, it will remain a magnetic needle or a bar magnet. It will remain in the magnetic meridian. And so this is the delta, is the angle of dip. So this is your horizontal component of the magnetic field B, this in the magnetic meridian. This is the vertical component of the net magnetic field B in the magnetic meridian. This as well as this, both and this, all three of them are in the same magnetic meridian. Delta is the angle of dip. So how much will be BH? How much will be BH? So your BH will be B cos delta, BB will be B sin delta. Now I have considered another plane. Look at this part. Look at this part. Small a, B dash, this point is C dash, and a D. This is another plane. This is another vertical plane at the same place A, but this plane does not coincide with the magnetic meridian. This plane does not coincide with this plane. Okay? And the angle, don't confuse with this geographic meridian. A, B dash, C dash, D. Can be geographic meridian, but don't confuse. Let this angle is alpha. Now, what will be the component of this BH on this meridian? On this one, on this plane. From here, if you drop a perpendicular from A to E, this will be the component of a BH on this plane. And if you for some time think this plane is not there, we have taken the component of BH on this plane, that is this thing. This angle is alpha, so this angle is also alpha. So from A to E, this will be BH cos alpha. Now, but BV is also on this plane, and BV is also on this plane. Right? BV is common to both the planes. BH is on this plane, and BH cos alpha is on this plane. And what is the angle between BH cos alpha and BV? Is again 90. Now look. Now A, B dash, C dash, D is another vertical plane making angle alpha with the magnetic meridian. This another vertical plane making angle alpha with this magnetic meridian. Now the question is, now what shall be the component of BH on AB dash? What will be the component of BH on AB dash? That is this one from A to E. Since this angle is alpha, therefore this will be your BH cos alpha. Now is interesting. Therefore your AE is equal to BH cos alpha. Now let it be BH dash say. Means horizontal components on the plane, on this plane, which makes angle alpha with the magnetic meridian plane. Now BH dash is horizontal, but not on the magnetic meridian. So for the plane A, B dash, C dash, D, BV remains same. BV is also in the magnetic meridian and is also in that new plane, is also in this plane, which makes angle alpha with the magnetic meridian. So BV remains same for both the planes. So let BV dash is equal to therefore PV. So I am using BV dash, BV dash and BH dash components of B in the plane which makes angle alpha with the magnetic meridian. So actually the needle is on the magnetic meridian. Actually the needle when freely suspended will be suspended in the magnetic meridian. But by some means if you force to make it suspend on this meridian which makes angle alpha with the magnetic meridian, then also the needle will tilt, will dip. Let that dip is equal to delta dash. So it is the dip in the plane A, B dash, C dash, D which makes angle alpha with the magnetic meridian. Now apply the same concept, tan delta. Your tan delta was equal to your vertical component over horizontal component. So if you apply this to this plane which is making an angle with the magnetic meridian, then tan delta is equal to BV dash over BH dash. This remains same for both the meridians. Now for BH dash I can write this which I derived. So this becomes BV over BH. This becomes 1 over cos alpha. So, and what was this? This was the true tan delta. This was the actual tan delta.